We're at the Green Campground here in Greenville. It's in East Tennessee. We've been blessed enough to be housed here. Not so much housed, but to allow our area of operations to grow here and expand and give a place for the volunteers to stay as well as our team while we're here in the area. We believe we're going to call Greenville our permanent home in East Tennessee. We were definitely called to be here. So what we're going to do now is I want to show all of you guys where if you want to volunteer or send donations, we can get out. A lot of the places around have started collecting donations, but it's kind of complicated to navigate everything to get donations for some of the families. But they are allowing my team and a few other churches and warehouses around here are allowing me and my team and some local volunteers to get the things to the affected areas that need to be. We were blessed big enough to have this whole place. It's not very full right now because we've taken out a lot of supplies. At one point, this place was very, very full. But if you come in here, you can see kind of what's going on. This place was jam-packed at one time, but all your supplies and donations are all going out to where they're supposed to be. Families are still suffering because of the cold. Families are still suffering because they need gasoline to run generators and housing.
James, can you explain how just because the mainstream media and just because you don't see a tent city, because tent city is a trigger word,
right,
doesn't mean that there are not hundreds of people that need help with shelter. Can you explain what's going on?
Absolutely. I mean, tent city is a huge trigger word because there aren't huge encampments of tents. There are some in North Carolina, obviously still in Swannanoa. There are isolated people who are living in tents. A lot of people are living in cars because they can turn their heat on and sleep in the cars. We actually just put a family up in a hotel for a couple of days until their camper could get here. So hopefully that'll take effect soon. There isn't tent cities, but there are people who are sleeping in cars as well as campers who still don't have heat or even sleeping in half of their home that's still there because that's the only shelter they have.
Can you tell the viewers, how much has changed in about 1 week? Can you, or are you not allowed to discuss?
Well, what's going on in 1 week is when it boils down to a nutshell, when you're trying to help the community, good things happen. When you're trying to do the next right thing, good things happen. We have been blessed. I mean, just unbelievably blessed with everything. The communities came together. We've had the ability to house some people. We've had the ability with funding and donations to purchase gasoline, purchase propane. We just picked up, we picked up some donations for propane, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. So with donations and everything that you guys have been able to give us, we went freely and just picked up the propane that they needed, that this place needed. I'm not going to put any places out there that need to be out there, but man, we've been able to help the community. We really have. And now we're taking donations for sleeping bags and warm weather gear, water. We got all the water you could possibly think of, but what happens is a lot of these affected families don't per se need paper towels or toilet paper anymore. What they need is things to survive and live. All of these things are included. This was one gentleman, actually I believe it was one gentleman and his wife's donations here with the camping bags, sleeping bags, things like that. They can double them up. Propane heat is cool in the campers, but propane runs out. I mean, you get a large enough camper that which a lot of these people are, and 2 of these propane tanks at 20 pounds a piece lasting 2 days and 3 days. And then some of them don't have vehicles to even go get more propane. So my team's been running a lot of supplies and donations. We had to kind of step away from the search and rescue thing for a little while. We had to clear up some things that were misguided. But right now, as it stands, we're still able to help the community and make changes in people's lives that are really positive. We've got bunkhouses and a full industrial kitchen over here that we share with the Amish community who are out here helping us and building tiny homes. Not tiny homes so much, but all the buildings and refurbishing people's families. So if you come out to volunteer, you have a living quarters. We have bunks, an industrial kitchen over here. We got lucky on a nice day today. But we have about 30 bunks over here with showers and everything like that. Then we have another bunkhouse right over here. And I believe there's 20 bunks over here. So the community in this church has been a huge blessing. Like, if I could tell you, this church is like, this is what you need, this is what your volunteers need, this is how we'll help. So this is where we're staying, this is where our team's staying, this is where her and a few other dogs are staying. They have free roam. They can go out and play and frolic and do things that working dogs do when they're off duty. Firewood, more office spaces. It's peaceful. It's easy to reprieve here and command and control.
Yeah, I saw that. Tell people if they want to volunteer, how can they get a hold of you to come here? Because I had someone was like, send me Nolan's phone number, and I was like, it's in the video. But how do people get a hold of you, James, if they want to volunteer?
Well, feel free to message Travis, or you can get hold of Nolan. Nolan's number is available. I will get his number out, and we will make sure it's shared on this post, as well as a few of the other team members. Even if you want to come out and answer phones, even if you want to come out and shake hands, we don't really want people to come out and take pictures. It's not a publicity stunt or anything like that. But if you want to come out and make a difference, this place is the place to do it. Can you talk to them about how much of a difference, and just someone to volunteer answering the phones for you guys? Because you guys get so many calls, man. I mean, it's like your operation has grown 4 times since I've been here last. Our operation has grown to an amazing, alarming rate. It's hard to keep up. It's really hard to keep up with. We have community members and people calling. We have all of East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. We're trying to touch base with. So people who can answer the phones or take care of anything for us, that would be amazing. Poor Nolan's phone doesn't ring since our first video. I mean, doesn't stop ringing since our first video. He answers about, I'd say, anywhere between 50 to 70 phone calls a day. Chris answers phone calls every day. I delegate people to answer my phone calls. We're blessed with people in the surrounding communities because of Travis and these videos. In the community, we've had well-qualified volunteers come out and say, hey, we want to spend X amount of time with you guys. And right now, 2 of the volunteers that have came from Real Estate Mindset are handing out propane. The propane we just purchased and got donations from the local church. God love them. They're the best in the world. They're out handling that right now. So we will utilize you in many different aspects and many different ways.
All right, so right now we're going to be delivering these green bottles of propane up to the ZRC skate park in the Zionville border town of Tennessee and North Carolina. And we are going to be taking these to residents up there that have no propane for heat and no propane for their cooking supplies and smaller Mr. Buddy heaters. And then we're also going to do is load up 5 more propane cans in here. So we'll have a total of 15 20-pound tanks we can take up to them so that they can get heat into their RVs for these cold winter nights.
We love our community.
And you're helping the community?
And we're helping the community.
Where are we at right now?
We're in Greenville, Tennessee.
What store?
Ace Hardware.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
We got our soil sample here. What we're doing is taking the gigameter, going around, and wherever we get it picking up, we are collecting different samples. You guys could see low readings, so we will see what's out here. But this is a general area that we went to collect these samples in Schwananoa. Thank you to Real Estate Mindset Community for supplying that.
We are in Schwananoa, North Carolina, and we are checking out a vehicle that we found buried in the mud on the river. Initially, we had 2 separate dogs hit on the same exact spot within 2 minutes of each other. Very strong hits. Just below the tree right here is where the car is. So not much you can see. It's been marked by multiple different crews. So we are doing our best to check out what we can see. There's fresh bear prints. So we are Sierra 55. The original crew that hit on it is Mercy Search and Rescue. As long as there's also other markings on the vehicle that we can't identify what SAR team did it, but there's other markings on the vehicle.
How long have you been working down here?
We have been So I live in the area. I've been here since day one. James and his crew has been here since day two, specifically on this vehicle for about a week now.
Call from another dog team a couple of days ago. My guys came out with her. They checked this spot out. I guess her dogs hit on it. So we came to check it out. An hour and a half away from where we're at. It looks like another dog team's been here. So we'll save our resources, let them fill it, and stay out of their way. Offer them support if they need it. Other than that, we don't want to intrude on anybody else's thing, so we'll just get out of the way and let them handle it.
Is that bear tracks there?
There are bear tracks there.
What does that usually mean?
There's a lot of black bear. I mean, there could be anything from remains of an animal to remains of a human corpse. That's hard to say.